Hi, thank you for getting on to watch this recording. My name is Teresa Hansen, and I am a mother of two, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, as I'm doing this video. I'm a wife. I'm also an online health and fitness coach. It's called a Beachbody coach. So I'm going to share where I am now. I'm going to share where I came from and how I was able to use becoming a Beachbody coach to find the best version of myself and find my place in the world. So I'm going to tell you where I am now. Okay. And then I'm going to share a little bit of background of me, of where I was when I started, because I really think a lot of times people don't want to even consider this way of earning an income or, a career because of certain misconceptions people may have about what it takes to be a successful coach. And I'm probably the one example of everything that people think the reasons that they should not become a coach. I was all of those, and now I am a very, successful business owner. I'm a successful Beachbody coach, and so that's what this is what this video is really going to be about too. And I'm not starting this. I hope nobody's taking this like I'm tooting my own horn or that I am bragging, but I am proud of what I have accomplished in the 6+ years that I've been a coach. It was not easy. It took work. It took some sacrificing of time and shows and sleep, to get where I am now. So I am proud. And like I said, I'm not sharing this because I want to brag, but I want to share because I want to let you guys know what can be accomplished by being a coach. So as of right now, our team, my team, Team Motivate, has worked hard and earned the title of Elite 2 years in a row for 2014 and 2015. Also, last year in 2015, in October, I was inducted into Beachbody's Millionaire Club. What does that mean? Means that in the 6 years, it was six plus a couple months years, I have earned a total of $1 million or more at that time by being a coach. So in 6 years and a couple months, I was able to earn that much for my family, which, let me tell you, is crazy to even think about. It's still kind of surreal to me to know that that has happened in such a short amount of time. But it happened and I accomplished that, and it keeps adding up. It hasn't stopped. Also too, about 3 years ago, I left my web developer position to be a full-time mommy and to be a full-time health and fitness coach. It was a scary thing, I mean, tell you, because that's just not what we were, or at least that's not how I was brought up to believe that's what you did to earn an income to provide for your family by going off and being an entrepreneur, working for yourself. But I was able to do that because I wanted to be home, and I had found an opportunity that I could not only work on myself, make myself healthy, make my family healthy, encourage them and, instill very good healthy habits and earn an amazing, amazing income by helping others do exactly the same thing. It was so crazy, but that's exactly how my life has, unfolded. I have also earned the title of Success Club Legend. And what that means is that as of now, as I'm doing this video, I have consecutively for 38 months helped at least, and many times it's been a lot more than that, than 3 people, but I've helped at least 3 people start their journey into health and fitness, or even their own journey into their business, and able to mentor them to have a successful business. So, so that's, it was over 2 years. I've been consistently helping others. So I was able to earn that title. And by being consistent in that is how I was able to earn every other title. And my team has been able to earn that title of Elite. So, and today, money is not, we all have issues. It's life where we'll have disappointments and problems, but money is not one of them. I heard a really awesome quote this couple days ago. Is like, People who say money can't solve your problems don't know how the right places to shop. And it's not saying that money is everything, but it does alleviate a lot of stress when you're not constantly checking your bank account and afraid for things to bounce, afraid that you can't pay your electricity bill or your water bill, or you're not going to be able to get to the checkout for your groceries. Those are all things that happened to me at once, or had happened to very close friends of mine that don't have that fear anymore because they decided to be a coach. So that's all great, right? I'm in the millionaire club and I'm earning six-figure income about 5 times over. I'm helping other people on my team, other wonderful mothers on my team, earn six-figure incomes themselves, and able to, there's women on my team that have retired from their jobs, retired their husbands from their jobs, retired from the military. That's all great. But you're probably still thinking like, that's what you can do, right? It's not something that I can do. So let me just back it up here, and I'm going to screen share. I'm going to start my little presentation here that I did with some cool pictures. So let me get that up, and you can still see me. I'll put me over here so that you can still kind of see my face. Let me get this situated. There we go. I'm kind of small there, but okay. So let's start this. So again, this is me, at this time, I'm a 2015 also Elite Star Diamond coach. My 2 children, I've been with my husband for 14 years. I was a developer. This is me. This is my family. This is my husband. I kind of give you like where I am now and what, the amazing place that we are and how much we love our life because of the decision of becoming a coach. So this is also me. This is me when I decided to become a coach. See, 6 years ago, I was overweight, overworked, not happy in my skin. I had no idea really what to do when it came to working out. I'd never had any kind of fitness background. I never had any kind of nutrition background. That person right there thought lean cuisines were healthy and starving yourself was the way to go, which apparently that didn't work. I tried potions, lotions, eating grapefruit, eating cabbage, eating no carbs, eating carbs, anything that I saw in a magazine or somebody said that it worked for them, I tried it. And it wreaked havoc on my system, on my immune system. It wreaked havoc on my metabolism because I just wasn't eating. So, every time I maybe lost a little, I gained it back. And then I even looked bigger than I was before because I was losing so much muscle, because at that time too, I was so scared to lift weights. I thought if I lift weights, I was going to look like a man. My father was very into lifting weights when I was younger. So I had those images in my mind and those misconceptions in my mind that if I lifted weights, I was going to look like a man. So, I stayed away from that. If I went to the gym, it was treadmill or the elliptical, just really had, honestly, I don't know how much more I can stress. I had no knowledge of anything about fitness, about nutrition. But I knew I needed a change. I had tried so many other things, and apparently that didn't work. They kept looking for that secret sauce, but I found out there is no secret sauce. It's all about working out, eating good, and being consistent, not being militant about it. And, you're on it every single day. That's just not real life unless you're, doing a competition or something. But, for real life, to be consistent. And if you have a day, you come back, it's all about real life. So that's where I started. So if you think that you cannot be, that you're just in the beginning of your journey, if you're overweight, unhealthy, you don't feel good about yourself, you don't feel good about your skin, that you cannot be a successful coach, here's a perfect example of yes, you can. And this is where I started. If you feel that you have no fitness background, you don't even understand how anybody would follow you, that's me right there. And this is where I started. The picture that is on your right is my before picture that I took before I started Insanity. And that's where I got started. I got Insanity for my birthday and I started working out. And another misconception that I know a lot of people talk about is I have built 95% of my business through Facebook, through social media, a little bit on Twitter, some on Instagram, but mainly on Facebook, that you're not somebody that posts on Facebook. I get it. I didn't either. I honestly never, took me about a year and like thousands of requests from people to get on Facebook, and I never did. And then I finally did, and then I was on Facebook, and I never even did anything with it until I got Insanity, and there was kind of like more of a buzz about, finding a community on there to other people that were doing Insanity because it was brand new. So that's how I got started. And I still to this day, I'm still not that person that loves to share everything. Maybe you don't see that, but it does take me, it took me a long time to get to that part to share everything, but it really came down to staying the way I was and not sharing what was going on in my life, or sharing more and more so I could reach more people, help change more people's lives, and help change my life. Like the idea and the fear of sharing so much, or maybe not even the fear of it, but just the uncomfortableness of sharing so much on Facebook and posting so much on Facebook and not knowing what to post on Facebook. If you ever see my very early ones, there were just tons of shares of links and, and stuff like that, and just not really having good direction at that time when I first started. But I just did it anyways because it was told to me, and I'm telling you, if you want something different in your life, you have to do something different. So if you weren't posting and you're not comfortable in it, it's time to get uncomfortable, and it's really going to change what's going on in your life to give you a better future for you and your family. So no, I didn't start off being this most comfortable person of selfies and sharing and everything like that. I didn't. I was this person who was very uncomfortable in her skin and didn't want to share much of anything. And as the years went on, I got a little bit more comfortable, but it's still a little scary. So that is another misconception. I was not a big time sharer on social media. So that's where I started, and so like I said, a lot of people think, okay, and another thing that I didn't have is I didn't have a huge following. Honestly, a lot of my friends, when I first told them what I was doing, that I was going to become this coach, and I changed from just being a coach for the discount on Shakeology to actually wanting to run this business as a business, they thought I was crazy, because before even I started Insanity, I was the party girl. I smoked all the time. I was at happy hour. I just was not somebody. When they thought of T, they did not think of fitness and health. They thought T is the fun person, maybe because she was drinking so much, but they did not think of me as a fitness person. So it was like, you're going to do what? You're going to be a coach? So no, I did not have a following either. I didn't have a lot of people that were friends of mine on Facebook that believed that this was something that was going to turn into what it has turned into 6 years later. But because of social media, because I was able to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and sharing and posting workout selfies and posting my Shakeology recipes that I loved and maybe some I didn't love so much, as I did that, I was able to meet more people, and more people who were looking for help were able to find me as well. So that is one of the reasons you start sharing more on social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you feel most comfortable with. This is because you can reach more people, and you're not confined to just your small circle of friends or your coworkers or your family. Social media gives you the avenue to find more people, and that's how you become, more successful with this. But you do have to get a little bit out of your comfort box if you want to be successful. So that is where I started. So me right now, and this is 2016 that this is being recorded, I have earned so much money. We have no worries about bills, or we just got back from taking my family to a wonderful beach house vacation for a week in Mexico. My dad, my aunt, my children, and my husband, and we don't even blink. Like, this is not something that was even feasible 6 years ago. I remember, I'll tell you a quick little story before I go on. There was a time where I cried in my bathroom because I had a water bill that I couldn't pay, but I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't even want that, my husband now, but at that time he was my boyfriend. I didn't want him to know that I could not pay a freaking water bill. I mean, it was, I think, probably $30, not even that. It was a water bill in an apartment. And I had to admit to myself that I wasn't able to do this. I had a degree in engineering mathematics. See, that's my background too. I have a degree in engineering mathematics. I was a web developer for so many years, since 2001. So I was supposed to be able to at least afford living on my own in a small apartment, and I couldn't even pay my water bill. Like, that was embarrassing to me that I couldn't do that. And then, there was times where I couldn't go to lunch. Every single day I checked my bank account to see what was being paid, what went through, what hadn't gone through, to see what I could get through the day, if I could get groceries and it was just me. I didn't even have children at that time. That's just what I had to be able to live on my own. My mom would send me some money just because she knew I would never ask for it, but she knew I needed it to get by day to day. So I was at that point where I couldn't afford things, but I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to go live with my parents, even though I got laid off 3 months after I graduated from college. It was just all these things I just knew that I had to do something. And I went from job to job trying to find something stable. And you know what? The thing about corporate America is that no matter how awesome your employer is, you're still an employee. You're not working for your goal. You're working for somebody else's. That's just the way it is. And when push comes to shove, if you're not the owner, you could get the boot, and I got that. So now, 6 years later, I check my bank account. I don't, we're just so free of that burden. But it's because I got out of my comfort zone and worked hard to make this a successful business. And I started like that. So if you think that becoming a coach is not for you, and also too, one more misconception that I hear, I don't have time. I hear that all the time. I'm so busy. When I started, I was working about 70 hours a week, weekends, Sundays, sometimes Saturdays, to get projects out. I would wake up in the morning and do some work. I would do some at lunchtime on my break. I would do it in the evenings. I would go to bed late. I would wake up early, trying to learn what I needed to do. Because when I first started, we didn't have the stuff that we have right now in Beachbody. We didn't have trainings. We didn't have Coach Basics. We didn't have challenge packs. It's all this new stuff that we have now that helps somebody who is a brand new coach be successful right away. We didn't have that back then. So it was kind of like everybody just trying to figure it out on their own, trainings on social media, trainings on Facebook ads, and just all that stuff that wasn't there back then. So it was just really, trying to figure this all out. And so I was doing it on the side. I was doing, like I said, in the morning before I would go to work, and at lunch breaks, so I was figuring out how to fit it into my life. And that's what Beachbody, being a coach is fitting it into your life, not the other way around. And there is some sacrificing. Not so much watching TV. I didn't go to happy hour like I used to go to happy hour, but that was helping my health as well. But I found the time. And if you want something better in your life, you're going to find the time. If it's important to you, you find the time. If it's not important to you, you find an excuse. So time, I know, you're going to say, I have children. I have this, right now, I do a work around my children's schedule, and they went to school in the morning, and then now they're taking their nap, and that's what I'm doing this video. So I work around that so that I can still continue to grow this business and help others do the same thing, so that I can have my one goal of never having to work for somebody and being the boss of my time. So that is, don't time, you have time if you want to make it. You're not at your fitness goal, that's okay. Either was I, and either was so many other coaches that started that have successful 6-figure businesses the way that I have been able to create, and the way that I can mentor you, and don't do it as long as I did, because I did the groundwork already. And what was the other one? Don't have a big following, the people around you don't want to get fit or healthy. That's okay. That's the power of social media. You get comfortable with social media, and which is something that I can help you with and mentor you with, that you can use it. So those are like the biggest misconceptions that I found. And I hope that by sharing where I came from, where I started, I was a web developer that liked to be in a hole and not talk to anybody. And 6 years later, this is where I am at, and I do this full time. I want to work around my children's schedule so that I am active in their lives and I get to create so many memories with them and never miss a milestone, and get to go to school when they need me. And, gymnastics, we can do any kind of activity with them and never even think twice about not being able to afford it. And never think twice about that I can't do it because I have to be at work. I make my schedule. You can make your schedule. It, like I said, still requires work. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not a sprint to be successful in this business. It's a marathon, but it's worth it. So that is a little me in a nutshell. If you want to learn more about my story, where I come from, like I said, my parents were not entrepreneurs. My family and my mom's side, they were migrant workers. So it's really crazy to think that I come from migrant workers to being a millionaire. My father's side, my grandparents, they were mechanics and housekeepers, house cleaners. They worked in factories. That is my background, but I always wanted something more. And now I found it in a very non-traditional way, but it's totally doable. You don't need a background in fitness to be successful in this. You just need to be passionate. You need to want to help people, and you have to be willing to work. That's what's going to be the secret sauce. So that's me.